Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's ManHammer workout. This week we took a trip down to Black Flag Barbell and we met up with my buddy Aaron and my buddy Ryan and Aaron's wife Kim. And we met Jesse and Victoria and also Sam. I'm starting today, they're kind of looking at me to start this routine. I'm just starting with what I always do, which is just flowing with it, being mobile, getting warm. I'm thinking about controlling the weight and moving it further away from my body incrementally. I'm thinking about a wider, longer arc. I'm just trying to control it. Why waste any more time? Let's get the swinging, huh? So we start off with the sledgehammer swing. Same thing, I'm still in warm-up phase, so I'm just trying to throw it big, long, loopy. I'm looking for a big range of motion in all my muscles. I gotta say right off the bat, Black Flag Barbell was awesome. Both Aaron and Ryan have built this gym up, and they got good equipment, and they were smart about how they did their floors and their platform that you see in the back. Simple construction, but ingenious. I hope they invite me back. This is Aaron. Aaron had an idea that he saw from the shoulder rock, which is Chris Duffin's version of something similar, I think. I don't know anything about the shoulder rock, but I do know Chris Duffin, and I respect that guy tremendously. So Aaron's doing this move. I can see some risk in this move, but nonetheless, this whole thing's about control. So if you do it incrementally and you build the strength up and the control with it, and that's going to be pretty solid for your shoulders. This workout was super cool for me because I had a group of people who, a lot of them had never swung a sledgehammer before. Some of them had swung a sledgehammer before, but never a 20-pound sledgehammer. The higher you go with weight, obviously the more your form has to be on point. You have to use your body's mechanical advantage. You have to be efficient with how you move. Up next is Sam. I don't know if Sam had ever swung a sledgehammer before this. So starting out with 20 pounds was probably not the best move. One thing I know about Sam coming in is Sam's strong. Sam works out. Sam does the hard shit. Sam squats. Sam deadlifts. And that makes a tremendous difference in being able to handle this movement. It's interesting to me how naturally, when Sam took her first couple swings, she would cross her hands on the same side. So if she was swinging with her right side, she would actually duck her left arm under. I don't know why this is occurring, But I'm trying to get through to her that you got to put the handle on your left hip if you're going to swing with your right arm. This hammer's got to work around you. You know, it can't work through you.
The side was like deceptively hard. What's the weight on it? It's 20 by itself. You got an 8-2. You want to start with that? Yeah, true. All right, so real quick, Joe, this is Jesse, this is Tori, this is Sam. Hang on, Jeff. Oh,
We decided to switch to an 8-pound sledgehammer to give her a little more control. We should have started from that way anyway, and I suggest anybody that wants to play with a ManHammer, if you can start with an 8, start with an 8. If you have one available, start with an 8. Learn the movement. The one piece of validation I see right off the bat, though, is that when you use a regular sledgehammer, you have the ability to topple it over. So if you don't hit square and flat, you're going to topple the hammer right over on its side. Whereas that's why we made a round head with the ManHammer, because every hit is going to hit evenly, and you're avoiding the mishaps. Going lefty for anybody seems to be really tough. I'm left-handed and I still suck at it. And it all goes back to that there's a lot going on in this movement, and your two hands are doing two different things, and your feet are doing different things from your hands. So look, don't feel awkward at all if you switch hands and you suck. Guess what? I do too, and I've been playing with this for years. It's a neural pattern thing. You gotta figure it out in your head, and then you gotta make your body do what your mind knows it needs to do. But the first step is being able to see it in your mind. Watch Aaron here. This is his second set in of the day, and you can see he's starting to get confident on his right side. He's doing this motion with no problem. He didn't have to think about it. That left side though, man, that's rough, you know? It's a whole new thing. And I notice he has a way of tucking his hand under, kind of like Sam was doing. He's actually pulling it off though. So I'm going to look further into that in the coming weeks and kind of play with that maybe. Then here, I like how he switches it right up right after, back to the shoulder rock type of movement. I wish I knew what they called this move because I would tag it appropriately. This, ladies and gentlemen, was Jesse. Jesse, you can see right off the bat, he's a built dude, and you can tell by the way he swings his hammer that he swung a sledgehammer before. I like Jesse's approach, how he's doing it very controlled. He's resetting after each rep, and I think that's a good way to learn too. That way you never get off balance and you don't get lost in the momentum or the reps of the swings and make a mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kim. Kim is Aaron's wife. Kim's a beast. Kim's super strong. Kim has competed in powerlifting, I do believe. One of the toughest ladies I've seen, no bullshit. Kim's going to try the shoulder rock type of movement. She's a little unsure, and she's smart for asking. Anything you don't know, take it slow. Ask the person who knows how to do it. Then you watch Aaron try and explain, you go, God damn, it's hard to explain this stuff. Sam's back up, and you can see she's getting more confident with the movement. I don't know about you, man, but I think it's pretty fucking badass to see this chick swing a hammer. Even her left side, you can see now that it's her second time going through, she's already getting way more confident. It's like the learning curve to anything. Once you kind of do the initial really shitty take, something starts to click. Your mind starts to put together. But she's definitely a quick learner, you can see. Big Ryan in the background pulling some weight. Aaron powering through some bench. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Victoria. Victoria is also a really strong girl. You can see when you meet her. And she went straight for the 20-pounder. Victoria has a simple 1-2 approach to the swing. She loads it on the first step, she throws it on the second step. I think it's a really good way to learn. Like her husband Jesse, she seems to have a real control over this movement. And by resetting, she'll never get herself off balance or get caught up in the momentum of the swings. I made the suggestion to Victoria to try hitting a spot right in front of her. I noticed she seemed like she was reaching, and when she would hit and the hammer would hit far away from her, she had less control to be able to handle the recoil. It looks like it worked. You definitely have more control when you hit right in front of you. Now I'd like to suggest to her that after she hits, she should slide her hand back up right underneath the head for the next rep. This is going to make the movement back into the loaded position way easier. She's grabbing super low on the handle, and this is making this way harder than it has to be. But hey, it's all a progress. And that's what makes this move so interesting, is there's so much going on. And at the end of the day, there's a rhythm to strive for that's efficient. I will say this about Victoria though, even though she's making the transition back to the loaded position way harder than it has to be, you can tell by looking at her she has a lot of control over her own body. And that's huge when playing with the ManHammer. She knows how to keep herself in control. Her spine is good, neutral. Her core is tight. She's using her legs. She's using her arms. She's using her shoulders. She's using her big muscles to move this weight. Now Jesse's going to show us all up. I was happy to see it, man. These are the kind of guys I'm looking for. Guys that are strong, functional, dynamic with their strength, guys that have backgrounds in the physical labors, know how to use their bodies for real, to do real work. This dude's a machine. If you don't know, this is the ManHammer. This is the world's first hammer that you can load with regular weights. Patented in the United States of America. Sam's back up. She's getting confident in her form. She felt good with the 8-pounder. She figured out how to keep it closer to her body and more in control. The additional weight caused a little more of a challenge when dealing with the recoil. And it's heavy. You get tired quicker. More work done. But I like her attitude that she comes back to it. She's not afraid of it. She knows she's going to figure it out. And she knows she's going to figure it out and be confident with it. Where she doesn't have to reset and think about it every time. It's a goddamn cardio workout. Gotta get the snaps in. If it's not on video, it didn't really happen.
I didn't realize you were videoing. You want to do it again with me out of it?
A quick lesson on Boomerang and Snapchat and all kinds of other goofy shit, and I'm good to go. And so is she. Watch her work. Left side's harder, but she's not going to be beat. And again, I think the idea of resetting every time, especially when learning, I think it's a really good idea. She's a beast. So Sam's back at it again with the 8-pound hammer. Now she's got a rhythm. Now she's using her legs, she's using her core, she's using her shoulders. She's got this. She figured this movement out in only a couple sets. The progression of the move from here would be to have more shoulder extension and throw it higher and arc further with it. Check that rhythm out. Nothing to it. Good cardio. Again, goes back to the 20-pounder to test her form. Hands seem to be getting crossed up as she's doing out. I think the way she was doing it, tucking your hand under, works if you keep the hammer out in front of you. But the more you start to go to the side, the more the crossing your hands up doesn't work. You're trying to point it out, My whole idea is to keep the left side of your hand over your left hip while you swing with your right side. I think you keep that left hand on that left hip and it's free to move the whole time. Think of that as a pivot point and shorten the motion. Jesse's back up and I asked him to throw a 10 on it because I know he can handle it. He has a strong swing and he understands his body, so I want to see what a little more load does to his form. And I'm not surprised in the slightest he handles it well. He's flowing, and he looks like a goddamn man doing it. Just awesome. Victoria's up again. Oh, near miss, near slip. Thank God she wasn't hurt. Definitely got to be conscientious and fully aware when you're doing this kind of workout. It's aggressive and there's risk involved. It can be dangerous if it gets away from you. I would never want anybody to hit their foot or hit their knee. And I would never want to take for granted how comfortable anybody feels with this movement, especially if they're new to it. I feel comfortable with it, but I've been at it a long time. So if I ever fail to emphasize the risk enough, understand when you pick up a hammer, there is risk involved. You have to know your body and you have to anticipate where the recoil is going to go. You have to be ready to bail if it goes bad on you. I've tried to cultivate that mindset from the beginning, and now it's time that I start speaking about it more. Jesse was providing some tips to Victoria about rotating into the target, and I think he's spot on. She figured it out too, in just a few sets. Good job, Victoria. Finally, the big man's up! Ryan himself, making this shit look easy. And I knew he would. That's why he wanted to go on last. He's the main event. He's the heavyweight champ. Look at him. First time grabbing it. He swings it strong. He swings it hard. But yeah, he recognizes that's cardio, man.
That'll tell you how out of shape you are. Yeah, seriously.
Ooh, another near miss. Safety first, safety first. Be careful. My advice to Ryan was don't take your hand off the hammer until you're over the balance point and the hammer's falling toward the target. This will eliminate a lot of risk associated with having a collision to your head. And Lord knows we never want that. Big man's breathing heavy. I love it. I love it. And on the last set, I said, hey dude, can you throw on a 10 for me? I just want to see how you handle it. And I am not surprised in the slightest that he handles it well. He's the type of guy this was made for. So he can constantly progress with this movement. Yeah, it's complicated. Yeah, it's difficult. But once you figure it out, it's addicting. You're going to want to challenge yourself more and more like anything else. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time, we appreciate you watching, and thank you very much to those at Black Flag Barbell. We love you guys.